This is World Rally Radio on WRC.com.
Welcome to the official WRC podcast for the final day of Rally Catalunya. It has been an interesting final day. Our top five at the end of the day is more or less as we had suspected. It's Sebastian Loeb who takes the win here in Spain. In second place, Mikko Hirvonen. He swapped places with Jari-Matti Latvala towards the end of the rally. In fourth place, a good fourth place for Dani Sordo. And in fifth, his best ever result in the World Rally Championship, Chris Meek. And we actually are fortunate to have Chris Meek with us now. Chris, great rally for you this weekend. Fifth was a great position to finish. But on top of that, your first ever stage win, the power stage, Mini's first ever power stage win. Really, in terms of positives, so many of them this weekend.
Yeah, I have to say, after France, it was a case of getting back on the horse again. We had to really take that one on the chin, and I was quite annoyed about that. And it's always difficult to come back after an off like that, and we came here under strict instructions. We had to get the car to the finish, and it's a difficult enough event to try to manage your speed because it's so difficult to judge the road here. It's so you have the perfect amount of grip, everything is perfect, and you need to have the perfect knowledge of the road. And I don't have that at the moment, and I had to build that up. So I'm quite happy with our progress through the weekend. We were generally quite slow on the first pass, but half the gap to Danny on the second pass. And I'm looking at Danny's times, to be honest, because he was able to set fastest times here over the last 4 or 5 years, and I think his pace this weekend is an indication where we're truly at with the car. And we were able to build it up, and we got closer and closer to the guys in front, and that's what's all about, progress. But to top it off with the power stage was something pretty special, I have to say. I didn't expect it. We only really learnt when we went out to do the stages. We were starting to do pressures for the start of the first stage of the last loop that not many guys had went the same option as us. And I had enough in hand over Otsburg to be able to play that game and work with the softer tyres. And we lost time over the 2 longer stages, but paid off for the power stage, and that was a team decision. So big thanks to the team.
It was a great decision from the team. I have to say, Chris, not only have you decided this weekend to change maybe the way you approach the rally in comparison to the way you did things in France, but your attitude seems to have been very different as well. You don't seem to have been quite so hard on yourself. You don't seem to have been quite so analytical at the stage ends. You seem to be being a little more accepting of where you've got to be and what you've got to do this year.
Yeah, to be honest, probably a lot of that's coming off the back of France. I know myself. There's no one puts any more pressure on me than I do myself, and I'm my own worst critic, and I've done that throughout, and I want to get to the top, and I want to get there as quickly as possible, but it's a longer process than that, and sometimes I'm not patient enough, and probably another bit of it's coming to Spain. When you're coming to Spain against Dani Sordo, you're not going to beat him first time here in a World Rally car. So you come here accepting second best before you arrive, and that makes it a little bit easier. And but okay, I was able to manage over the weekend, and at the end of the day, 4th and 5th for Mini, and power stage 1-2 is a brilliant weekend for us. We go away from here having learnt a lot. We have work to do all round, but as in France and as in Germany, I think we're ahead of where we expected to be in this stage of development. And as I say, we have a long list of improvements we want to make to the car, and it's just a case of getting everything in place to make that happen.
We can't wait to see you in GB, Chris. That's going to be very exciting indeed. Congratulations on a great performance this weekend. Well done.
Thank you.
That's Chris Meek in the Mini John Cooper Works World Rally car. What a weekend he's had. What a weekend Dani Sordo has. Also joined this evening by George Donaldson from Subaru. George, when we look at the championship at the end of Rally Spain with 1 rally to go, Rally GB, we have 2 drivers still in with a chance of winning the title, Sebastian Loeb and Mikko Hirvonen. You'd have to say Sebastian Loeb is looking good again for his 8th world title in a row.
It's you can't call it a world title anymore. You have to call it a Loeb title, don't you? It's his. It belongs to him. He's got his name on it. It's a fantastic performance from Sebastian. The guy is far from a machine. I hear people calling him all sorts of fabulous names. The guy's just a terrific rally driver who understands this sport of ours better than anyone else.
No, I couldn't disagree with that at all. He really is the most intelligent of drivers, isn't he, George? And, he's had a bad run of luck recently, or well, not luck, I suppose you would call it, form. He obviously had the problems in Australia, he had problems in Germany, he had problems in France, but he's bounced back with a win here. Your Rally GB this year, George, it's the Tour of Wales, isn't it? We're going from north to south. Maybe those new stages, the extra, if you like, miles within the rally in terms of the liaisons and all the rest, is that going to upset any of the drivers, maybe disrupt Loeb's challenge and charge for his 8th title?
Well, Sebastian, of course, has shown many times the guy is unflustered when he hits new places. He, in fact, he's almost better in new places than everyone else. I mean, he is that good. But we've got a couple of very determined Ford drivers. Jari-Matti Latvala is obviously under a team restriction to perform to help his teammate, but that doesn't preclude him from winning a rally, and that's the end of it. So Jari's out there. Jari's very much coming on to form. And how old is Jari-Matti now, Colin?
He's 24, 25 years old. He's still a remarkably young man.
Very, very young, and the youngest guy ever to win a World Championship rally just a couple of years ago. And then we're talking to Chris there, who's also a young guy, but considerably older. And really, most drivers mature at this older age. Sebastian is now, what is he, 38?
Again, something like that, 37, 38.
And he's very much, and we've got these young guys, who are really at the peak of their physical performance. That can't come close to them. Rallying's an experience game, and Chris has got years of experience to get to the level now where he's still coming to events and being under pressure to perform. But he's figuring it out. That level of maturity is what's required. Jari-Matti's figured that out at a younger age. It's just a question of right place, right time. Jari-Matti kept himself in drives, but he had difficulties too. Like Chris, he had to move into other formulas. Jari-Matti was sent back to do PWRC after a couple of years of WRC to learn what pace was about. And Jari-Matti himself is very happy and proud of the year he did in Group N, and he knows he learned a lot. He even alluded to it after, I think, his last rally win. So there's a lot to be done here with these young guys. But, 18, 19-year-olds thinking they're going to be factory drivers by the time they're 21, it's laughable. You're going to have to keep yourself alive for 10 years in this sport to get the break. Look at Marcus Gronholm. He was pretty well exactly 10 years from his first factory-supported type drive until he actually got a factory contract. So there's a lot to be done. Rally like Wales Wales Rally of Great Britain,
whatever we're calling it.
REC Rally, whatever it happens.
Lombard, chuck that in as well, why not?
Lombard REC Rally, I'm sure there's a couple of other names we can chuck in there.
Network Q.
Few new stages. That's certainly going to help the younger drivers, because a driver like Loeb, it doesn't make any difference to. A driver that maybe leans on his note experience and building up over the years, the second rung guys, it will affect them more. Some of them it will. Some will actually go better. Some will go worse. And I think we've got a few guys in WRC cars on like Martin Prokop. If he's a rare talent, for sure it's a chance for him to shine. You can debate all you want, Colin, but this is a chance for people to shine a couple of levels up the rung to make up for missing experience. And it will help those guys. And guys like Chris, who Chris won't have done these northern stages any more than anyone else in the last few years, hardly at all. So well, let's lean on his experience and his ability and let him shine a little bit. So, yeah, apart from the Sebastian Loebs and maybe the Jari-Matti Latvalas and the Mikko Hirvonen and the Ogiers, that second rung down, they're rich pickings for the young Charger drivers here.
It's going to be very interesting to wait and see what happens in Wales. George, thank you for your thoughts on that. It has been a really, really interesting week here in Spain. George, PWRC. Okay, before we go, let's have a quick word for PWRC. And you have just reminded me that we have to mention our Super 2000 World Rally Champion, because Juho Hänninen has been crowned champion. What a job he's done over the last couple of years, George.
Juho's, again, another classic example of a driver. I think he got his first works opportunity about 5 years ago with Mitsubishi.
That was a World Rally car. It wasn't a works opportunity. It was just a World Rally car drive he paid for himself. His first contract in a works team is with Skoda in the S2000.
Okay, but that first opportunity at the top, and he said to go back and learn his craft. So this thing about the young drivers coming in and taking over, they won't take over. They're going to have to fund themselves for years and years of hard graft, and learning to do a great job before they get those works opportunities, and that's important. Juho has done a fantastic job, and he did exactly what was needed here, exactly what was needed under a tough circumstance.